This is a day that we're going to just kind of stop, take a breath, and see where we are as a city.
The Fox Virginia News at 10 is next tonight. Charlottesville celebrates its 5th Liberation and Freedom Day today, remembering enslaved people who built this city. We have the story on this local holiday.
Plus, thinking about declawing your cat, you might want to think twice. The Virginia General Assembly is getting closer to passing a bill that would make it illegal to declaw a cat. We have those details.
And former President Donald Trump is back on the ballot after the Supreme Court ruling. We've got the analysis from the UVA Center for Politics. It's 10 o'clock. Time for your Fox Virginia News.
Now, Fox Virginia News at 10.
Well, good Monday evening, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us tonight. I'm Alexia Williams.
And I'm Ashley Brooks. We're going to come back to those stories in just a moment, but first, here's Travis with your Fastcast.
And now, your CBS 19 Weather Authority forecast from the Bright Star Care Charlottesville Weather Center.
Had sunshine for the first part of the day. Clouds got thicker this afternoon, and then right before sunset is when the rain moved in. However, unlike normal convention that we see if things moving from west to east, the showers are actually going from east to west. The parent storm system is off the Atlantic coast. You can see in a 6-hour loop that rain pressing from Richmond towards Charlottesville, and virtually everybody in central Virginia east of the Blue Ridge Mountains in the viewing area has seen at least a sprinkle since 6 p.m. When all said and done, though, some places are going to see a lot more rain than others. 55 right now in Charlottesville and Standardsville. Scottsville, Lake Monticello, 54 and 52 degrees in the OC and Orange. Temperatures fairly steady overnight. Most of the rain tonight will fall east of Charlottesville and Route 29. And then for Tuesday, everything's gone by 8 a.m. Clearing skies will follow, but we keep some clouds around for the afternoon. But once again, like today, we'll make it to a high near 70 degrees. A lot more rain in the extended forecast. Warmth, not so much. Break down the 7-day for you in just a bit.
All right, sounds good. Thank you, Travis. Our top story tonight. Today, the U.S. Supreme Court said that states cannot keep former President Donald Trump off the ballot using a rarely invoked provision of the 14th Amendment.
With more on this decision, we go to our Fox Virginia's Garrett Witten, who has reaction from local political experts. Garrett?
Ashley and Alexia, in this ruling, the country's highest court overturned a decision from Colorado's Supreme Court. The decision has handed the GOP presidential frontrunner a win in an unprecedented case that threatened to derail his bid to return to the White House.
He always turns an effective attack around.
On Monday, the Supreme Court overturned a Colorado court's ruling after it decided former President Donald Trump can be disqualified from the state's ballot, citing the insurrection clause of the 14th Amendment.
He's the one who has threatened democracy. He's the one who organized a potential coup d'etat.
Dr. Larry Sabato, director of the UVA Center for Politics, says Trump continues to try to flip the narrative.
But now it's Joe Biden, according to Donald Trump, who's a threat to democracy. I'd laugh if it weren't so sad.
In its opinion released Monday, the Supreme Court said only Congress can enforce the specific clause of the amendment. The ruling resolved challenges to Trump's eligibility for office pursued by voters in several states and comes one day before Super Tuesday. Sabato says the Supreme Court's unanimous decision can be justified, but laughs at the suggestion it should be enforced by Congress.
I think the next time there's a Democratic president, a Democratic Senate, and a Democratic House, that may happen. But as long as Republicans control anything, it won't.
But he says the decision may play a role for Democrats.
I think it is possible that this will assist the Biden campaign in motivating them and getting them out to work and giving money, and a broader group thinking about the difference between a Biden presidency and a Trump presidency going forward.
Former President Trump applauds the decision, saying in remarks from Mar-a-Lago that it is, quote, very important and well-crafted. Trump will be on the ballot Tuesday in Virginia. In the studio, Garrett Witten, Fox Virginia News.
Garrett, thank you for that. Meanwhile, Super Tuesday, as we said, is tomorrow, which means ballots are due. Albemarle County Register is encouraging people to drop off your ballot if you haven't mailed it in yet. There is a drop-off box outside the registrar's office at 1600 5th Street. Mail-in ballots can also be turned in at any Albemarle County polling place tomorrow. All ballots must be back by noon on Friday for it to be counted.
A crackdown on Greek life at the University of Maryland in College Park. The university has ordered all fraternities and sororities to suspend all social activities, including events, to recruit new members over alleged allegations of misconduct. This announcement comes just days after the University of Virginia suspended its Kappa Sigma chapter after an alleged hazing incident that left a student injured back in February. The university letter was made aware of several incidents, but did not specifically say what exactly happened. Some U of M students say that they don't agree with how the university is responding to these allegations.
I don't think it should have happened. It kind of makes people question whether or not like the entire idea of like this hazing culture or like for joining like a social frat is something that really needs to exist in the first place.
The letter says that the suspension will be in place indefinitely while an investigation takes place. The Virginia General Assembly is getting closer to passing an animal welfare bill. House Bill 1354 would make it illegal to declaw a cat.
It passed the House and is working its way through the Senate. Animal welfare advocates say this is a long time coming. Our Fox Virginia's Felicity Taylor reports.
It's barbaric. It's cutting off the last phone.
Cat advocates are hoping this year's General Assembly will finally ban declawing.
Declawing a cat is the equivalent of taking off a human's first knuckle. They would cut off right here.
After a cat is declawed, experts say countless medical and behavioral complications can follow.
They can be very scared, very shut down. Again, this is a really painful procedure for them, so they don't really like to have their bodies touched, especially their feet, and they can also show signs of aggression.
The Association of Veterinary Medicine has advised against declawing for years. If you adopt a cat from the Charlottesville-Albemarle SPCA, they'll make you sign a contract saying you won't declaw your cat.
Recently we had a cat that we would have considered a barn cat, but we can't adopt them out as such because they don't have claws or a way to defend themselves.
People generally declaw their cats because they are destroying furniture. To control their behavior, the SPCA recommends scratching posts, regular nail trimming and sanding, and nail caps, just to name a few.
Well, one person is in life-threatening condition after a two-vehicle crash on Constitution Highway in Orange County this morning. It happened around 5:50 near the intersection of Rhodes Road near Locust Grove Elementary School, shutting down the road for several hours. As a result, Orange County Public Schools closed both Locust Grove Primary and Locust Grove Elementary Schools for the day. One person was life-flighted to UVA Health with life-threatening injuries. 5 other people were taken to a hospital in Fredericksburg with minor injuries.
37 million Americans can't speak out loud or hear, and it makes it difficult for them to communicate with emergency.
A tech nonprofit is trying to set roots in Virginia to make emergency help accessible to everyone. As Fox Virginia's Gretchen Singer shares, nonverbal people aren't able to text 911 everywhere in Virginia, but using the app Access SOS, that could change.
Lack of access to emergency services because you're not able to hear or speak out loud for help could really mean a death sentence for somebody.
Gabrielle Wong had the idea to launch Access SOS after her father, who is deaf, had an emergency.
His gallbladder was making him feel very, very sick. He was not able to call 911 for help. And his first instinct is to text me to call 911 for him.
Unfortunately, Wong wasn't near her phone.
In realizing there was no one there to help on the other line, he drove himself to the ER, almost got into a car crash. He recounts it to me as his head being hunched over, driving to the ER.
Wong says after that, she knew something needed to be done to give equal access to those in need of emergency help. Access SOS bridges the gap for anyone who isn't able to verbally communicate their emergency. For those who don't even know texting is an option.
Even if text to 911 works in someone's area, there's still that lack of educational awareness of how to even send a text message to 911.
Fortunately, texting 911 is already an option in Charlottesville and Albemarle County. Celeste Baldino with the Emergency Communications Center shares how it works.
You just use 911 as the phone number you're texting, and it's nice if you can give us the address and the nature of your emergency in that initial text. That way we can just text back with some additional background or additional questions for you.
Our goal is to launch in Virginia and nationwide so that you don't have to be like, am I in New Mexico? Can I use the Access SOS app? We want to be as ubiquitous as 911.
In order to bring Access SOS to Virginia, they need a local foundation to sponsor their work and advocacy. Gretchen Stinger, Fox Virginia News.
The 13th annual school food drive kicks off this Wednesday, and 20 schools from around the area are participating. The drive supports the Blue Ridge Area Food Bank and all of its partner organizations that help people experiencing food insecurity. The food bank has seen a big increase in demand for services, but the spring is typically a time when donations are low. The drive runs through March 22nd. For more information, you can check our website.
Well, today, Charlottesville is recognizing its 5th official Liberation and Freedom Day.
More than 150 years ago, 14,000 enslaved people were freed by Union troops, marking an important day in local history. Our Fox Virginia Sarah Allen has more on this celebration.
This memorial recognizes the enslaved people that helped build the city we know today. Now we remember the thousands that were enslaved in Charlottesville and the freedom they were granted 158 years ago.
There were actually 14,000 persons enslaved in Charlottesville in 1865, and there was actually more people than were residents of Charlottesville. They were white.
Liberation and Freedom Day was unanimously voted by City Council to be recognized as a holiday just 5 years ago.
This is a day that we're going to just kind of stop, take a breath, and see where we are as a city.
While all city offices are closed Monday, Wade says there's still more work to be done in making Charlottesville a more equitable place to live.
The most critical things that we have done just took effect a couple of weeks ago when the new zoning ordinance went into effect.
The ordinance is one of many initiatives to provide more inclusivity among surrounding neighborhoods in the city of Charlottesville, and Wade says they're taking initiatives like this seriously.
We're not only saying that we want to be a place for all, to be more equitable, but we're putting our money where our mouths are.
The mayor also spoke on the city's goals for pushing for more affordable housing, stronger and safer education, and job programs for Charlottesville residents. Thousands worked against their will to build the place that we now call home. So it's important to recognize them, take that breath, and continue to fight for a better Charlottesville. On grounds, Sarah Allen, Fox Virginia News.
Voters are heading to the polls tomorrow for Super Tuesday.
As the showdown between Nikki Haley and Donald Trump continues, we have the latest after your local weather authority forecast with Travis.
A little bit of rain overnight tonight and early tomorrow morning, but the next two systems heading our way are going to be progressively wetter. Very soggy weekend ahead, it's looking like, and I'll tell you all about it right after this.